us jump into the shitstorm that is the jelly situation. Shall we? That's why I wanted to wait for Rev's video, because Hero's video was only like 2 minutes long, and I'm sure Rev will be able to give us much more context to this. So, I also had something to say about this on Twitter. I don't know, Rev's probably not going to bring it up, but basically, I'll give my opinion as we talk about this. But yeah, let's jump into this and check out the insanity.
Hey, what's up, guys? Rev here. So unfortunately today we're talking about another example of a company or agency bending the knee to online outrage, mainly from people who have absolutely no interest in their products or their talents that are involved. This is following a very disturbing trend where it feels like, and I keep saying this, but it's the truth, it feels like we're going back to 2020, where people are getting their sponsors and their platforms targeted over the most benign and ridiculous things they say online or during their content creation generally. And today's really an update to what I talked about less than 24 hours. This was my video talking about a situation where a VTuber was targeted by thousands of users online thanks to their comments about this. So Minecraft, for the 4th or 5th year, has come out with this DLC that is called Good Trouble that masquerades itself as this educational experience where you learn about civil rights and some of the leaders involved with that over the course of time. But in practice, this is much more focused on teaching kids how to protest. And also, people say, well, what's the big deal? It's a DLC. Well, this DLC is, in many schools, Minecraft partnered with many middle schools, for example, with kids as young as 8 in some cases, where this is a part of the curriculum. So they're being...
they literally, like, Minecraft is on Chromebooks, which is what a lot of schools use now. It is in schools. And I don't know if Rev is going to mention this, but what makes this so fucking dangerous is this is getting coupled with so many schools that are literally turning their children into activists. I don't know if you guys been seeing, like, on social media, there are so many schools of extremely young children, like this is even to the degree of kindergartners. You have activists literally turning kindergartners, first graders, second graders into fucking activists. They're literally taking out these huge classes that have basically like one staff member per 20 kids, walking them down the street and having them be activists. And not only just like activists, but activists against ICE. They're literally turning children into anti-ICE activists. It's disgusting and insane, and this is getting coupled with this. I've seen the video footage of people like, schools like, marching like first graders down the street and like having them do activism. There is a video of a kindergarten class, because it was too cold. They couldn't take the kids out. There's a kindergarten class that they're literally having them march with protest signs in the class, and they're indoctrinating children. It is disgusting, and every single one of these teachers should be fired. Every fucking one of these teachers should be fired. The schools should be sued. The school boards should be sued. And a lot of people need to be losing their jobs. Now, some of these schools, the kids try to do that walkout thing, walkout against ICE or whatever it was. And some of these schools actually went, I don't fucking think so. Turn your ass around and get the fuck back into class based on them. But a lot of these high schools are saying, yeah, just fucking go. There are schools that have literally had to shut down because the teachers decided it was more important for them to go to an anti-ICE protest than to do their fucking job and teach their kids. That is a real thing, that schools couldn't open because too many of their teachers decided to go to an anti-ICE protest instead of doing their job and teaching children. They should be fired. Every fucking one of them should be fired. It's insane.
Exposed to this stuff at a very young age, and people have an issue with that. And one of the people who had an issue with this as a concept is this VTuber named Jelly from the FaZe Connect VTuber agency. And this is their post that got so much traction, saying, "Screw it, man. I think pushing politics in my children's sandbox game is disgusting, especially when it's disguised as education. Let me play my stupid block game without having to engage or associate with any of your stupid political garbage that I literally do not care about." Now understand, the quotes were very upset about this. Thousands of people attacking this individual and FaZe Connect, her agency as well. They were calling her a white woman, a white nationalist, also saying things
like... This, and guess who the people who are doing it? The same people, the same fucking escaped insane asylum patient that was criticizing Rev in the earlier video. Because according to that psychopath, harassing people like Jelly should be encouraged. According to psychopaths like that, Jelly should be harassed off the internet because she said, "I don't want politics in my children's sandbox game." Because silence is violence, according to that person. It's like, we're getting the dichotomy of opinions and logic and reason and sanity today.
Like, you know, she's an American, which literally none of these things are true. She doesn't live in America. She's not even white. And also, all she said, she didn't want politics in a children's sandbox game. I think that's pretty reasonable. A lot of people agree with that statement, but unfortunately, this tweet was deleted sometime between late last night and early this morning. And a lot of people are looking at her agency, FaZe Connect, and wondering, was she forced to take down this tweet? Because it doesn't seem like something she was really keen on doing. It seems like it was something management wanted to happen. But to give you an idea here, they bent the knee. And it's very clear they bent the knee. So FaZe Connect came out with an official notice regarding recent events. Saying this: "Thank you for supporting FaZe Connect. Recent comments made on Twitter by one of our talents included discussion on sensitive issues. Following an internal review, these comments were taken down. We sincerely apologize for any issues caused by this incident. FaZe Connect's focus has always been and always will be providing entertainment through different personalities and a wide range of unique content. We do not tolerate racism, hatred, or bigotry in our communities. Thank you for your understanding." So
now, I'm going to say it in case Rev does not. FaZe Connect threw Jelly to the wolves. FaZe Connect 100% threw Jelly to the wolves on this one. And what's more, they literally stamped her with a brand of racist and bigot. Yeah, that's what I mean. By saying this, by saying we do not tolerate racism, hatred, or bigotry, they just put the stamp of shame on Jelly's forehead that they consider her to be a racist or a bigot. FaZe Connect with this statement is saying to the world, we think that by Jelly saying, "I don't want to have anything to do with politics in my stupid block game, can we please stop with the politics?" And they literally just gave her the label of "that is racist" by saying, "I don't want anything to do with the politics." They now labeled her to the world as a racist and a bigot. They 100% fucked her in the ass on this. They royally screwed her. And honestly, I think at this point, Jelly needs to contact a lawyer, an independent lawyer, not a FaZe Connect lawyer. Jelly needs to contact a lawyer and get out of her contract. I think she needs to break the contract because I think that she may have legal grounds to break her contract. Because what FaZe Connect just did in this is slander her. They literally slandered her by calling her a racist and a bigot. And they have done irrevocable reputational damage to Jelly because of this by labeling her something that she is not, that she in no way, shape, or form did. And so I think that she needs to get an outside lawyer and break her contract with FaZe, and maybe even sue FaZe for slander or defamation. One of the two. I don't know, which she could sue for, but she definitely needs to leave. She absolutely, I guarantee there's probably a clause in the contract that says that would allow her to break the contract. But she definitely needs to get the fuck away from FaZe. Any person, any VTuber currently working for FaZe that basically wants to be able to speak their mind in a completely neutral manner and not get dogpiled and fucked over by FaZe needs to basically go later and fuck off out of there. It's like, this is disgusting. This is literally, this is an agency that just broadcasts the world. They don't fucking care. They don't care about their talents that are bringing them money. They don't care about all the money their talents are making. They only care about the rabid, insane asylum patients on Twitter that and scream about literally everything. These people are unhinged and they will scream about anything. They will literally take everything under the sun. Just like I said in that last video. They will take anything, no matter how benign it is, and twist it to fit their agenda so they can and scream and demand someone be eliminated. It doesn't even matter what it is. They will find a way to twist anything to fit their agenda. And Jelly and Pippa and anybody else with reasonable intelligence that has a reasonable opinion needs to get out of there immediately.
So this is the thing. A lot of people are looking around and these are the people they are trying to basically bend the knee to in this situation. You can see some comments here. All I want is for these people to stop BSing with their wussy excuses, no politics in gaming, woke DEI, brother, just admit you hate people of color. Say it with your effing chest. They're so scared of admitting what they...
And there it is. They're taking, I don't want politics in my game. I just want to have a fun game. And they are twisting it to say, oh, then you must hate people of color. This is how mentally deranged these people are. This is how unhinged they are. They need to be put in an asylum. They need to be locked away in an asylum. They do not have a grip on reality. They don't. They do not understand the concept of basic reality. And they need to be put in a padded cell.
They really are. They just need to admit that they're racist crapheads who couldn't get over their daddy's mentality and refused to ever change his people. Jelly deleted her tweet, it seems, or Sakana must be quite pissed off at her and told her to delete it. Either way, we won. Woke is back, baby.
These are the people that FaZe Connect wishes to cultivate. How long do you think FaZe Connect is going to last catering to this demographic? How long do you think they'll last? Because they're not going to be making money. All of these people that are screaming online and cheering that they won, do you think they spend money on any of these VTubers? Do you think they even go to their streams? No, probably not. They live on Twitter. They're V-tweeters. All they do is scream at people day in and day out. They don't have a life. These people have no life outside of Twitter. They are desperate for attention because their mommies and daddies never gave them any. They know they will amount to nothing. They know they do not have meaningful lives, and they will not amount to anything. And this is the only thing that they can find in a twist away meaning in their lives. And they probably don't even watch FaZe Connect streamers. And this is who FaZe Connect wants to cater to? How long do you think that's, what kind of business plan do you think that's going to last as? How long do you think FaZe Connect is going to last when their VTubers start fucking off going, I am not going to deal with this if this is who you're catering to. Deuces, I'm going indie. And when all of the Twittervists that get them to change how they operate don't show up to the streams and don't give them any money. How long do you think it'll be before FaZe Connect goes under when there's no income? Because all the people that they pander to don't show up to the streams and don't give them money.
Here's another example. This person's saying, I'm tired of politics in my games, quoting Jelly. Look inside. It's an optional DLC about civil rights. The DLC is for a version of Minecraft she doesn't play. Bro, I don't watch VTubers. Well, end statement. So this person, who's one of the loudest quotes, getting angry doesn't even watch VTubers in the first place. And then another example of who they bent the knee to. You have to really start looking into what kind of culture most FaZe Connect allows, or at worst, fosters. FaZe was built up by Pippa since the Hogwarts game controversy by appealing to the far-right people.
Of course.
Most of FaZe's EN talents tolerate or embrace them as well. It's FaZe's original sin, in my opinion. One that they've been dragging because it's what allowed the corpo to grow while all the other small corpos have died off. They ought to have cut them off a long time ago, but they won't because that's their niche, that's their demographic.
And you know what this is? This is the SJR woke hive-minded riot mob that basically saying you cannot be neutral. This is the psychopath saying if you're not with us, you're against us. That it is a zero-sum game. If you do not bow, scrape, and goose step in line with exactly what we say, you are an enemy and you should be ended. There's no middle ground.
This
There's
is why
no,
you don't
I
bend
don't
the
want
knee
to
to
be
the
anything.
Twitter mod. Cause they'll never be happy.
This is why you don't bend the knee to any of these people. This is why you don't bend the knee to the SJRs in general. You don't bend the knee because it will never be enough. It's time for my patented, this is a beast that cannot be fed. You give in to these people, they will take more and more and more, and it will never be enough. And they will continually take for you, and the instant you go a hair's breadth out of line of the way they want you to think, they will end you. A hair's breadth, that's all it takes. They will devour you. They have absolutely no loyalty for one another. They only have loyalties to their delusions. And it will, no matter what anyone does, it will never be enough. Because it's all or nothing. You're with them or against them. You cannot just say, I don't want to fucking deal with this. Yeah, they eat their own all the time. They're eating their own in Minnesota right now. These insane insurgents in Minnesota right now have stormed the fucking Capitol building in Minnesota and are now going after wolves. You know, the general that was yelling at them through a megaphone from the safety of his gate at the governor's mansion saying, go protest, go start good trouble. Yeah, they're going after him now because he didn't go far enough for them. This is the kind of people that we're dealing with. It is never enough. It is a beast that cannot be fed. It is a monster that can never be appeased. The instant you bend the knee once, they will take until you're dead. That's why you never bend the knee. That's why when you get these people that demand something of them, you look them dead in the eye and go, fuck off. I don't care. You can dogpile me all you want. I don't care. You don't matter. You're not the ones that I care about making happy with my streams. The ones that come to my streams don't care either. The ones that are dogpiling people on social media, they're not even showing up to the streams in the first place. So why in God's name would I give a flying fuck about appeasing any of them? None of them matter. None of them are you guys. I stream for you guys. Not them. You guys. They can bitch and moan and whine at me on Twitter all they want. In the end, it doesn't matter. I have no sponsors. I work for myself. I'm indie. The only person I'm responsible to are you guys. That's it. You guys are the only ones I care about. You guys are the only ones whose opinions matter to me. And even then, if we have a differentiating opinion, it doesn't mean I'm going to suddenly bend the knee on it. We may converse, we may argue, we may have differentiating opinions. And in the end, by the conclusion of it, we still may not agree. But you know what? It doesn't matter because we still respect each other. I still love you guys. I still respect you guys, even if your opinion is different from mine, even if your opinions are different from each other. And that's what matters. That's what these people can't figure out. That having a difference of opinion does not instantaneously mean that respect goes out the window. A difference of opinion does not suddenly turn in, you are my enemy and you must die. These people can't figure this out because it's a zero-sum game.
We love Queen Kitty.
They've never figured this out because they've never had someone give them a slap on the ass, or depending on what kind of parenting style he has, a crack, here. These people have never had someone give them a really good gib slap up the back of the head and go, shut up, you're being an idiot. This is what happens with lack of parenting and lack of discipline. They go and and scream on the internet because no one has ever told them no. That's the bottom line. And companies like Face Connect only enable them.
So these are the type of people this statement is addressing, in my honest opinion, and I think that's a fair one, okay? They're basically blaming Pippa for playing Hogwarts Legacy, because that was a real thing. She was being attacked by thousands of users, being called transphobic for simply playing Hogwarts Legacy, and apparently that is the original sin of FaZe Connect as a company.
Forgot. By the way, for those of you that why Rev emphasized original sin, it's a Bible quote. It's from the Bible, and as we know, Rev is religious, but it's also referencing slavery. This reference of original sin, that is referencing slavery in America, because that is often considered America's original sin that they have spent like a century and a half atoning for because people just can't get the fuck over it in 2026. Yeah. Oh yeah. The slavery in America is often referred to as America's original sin because America at one time kept slaves. And so it is often referred to as America's original sin. I'm related to John Hancock. I've watched too many people screeching nonsense. We don't have to agree on everything. We only need to get along. Exactly. Nexie, exactly. That's always what I say. We may not agree on a lot. I've argued with plenty of you guys. There are plenty of times I've had disagreements with you guys in chat during stream where we will go back and forth and we will not agree on something. Sometimes we come to a consensus. Sometimes we end up not disagreeing. But you know what happens at the end? I go, you know what? I don't agree, but you're entitled to your opinion. And I still respect you guys. It's literally not that hard to do, to say, I disagree with you. I think you're incorrect. But in the end, I still respect you as a person. How hard is that? Apparently too hard for these people and too hard for FaZe Connect.
As a company. Now, returning to the statement, we'll look at the comments and reactions to this in just a second, but I want to make a couple things clear. I'm not here to rag on any of the FaZe talents, and I'm not even really ragging on FaZe Connect as an agency that is very well respected overall.
I am.
But I'm going to criticize this post, this response to the situation, which I think is a massive L. It is a gigantic L. They're bending the knee. Yeah. They're setting a very bad...
I am going to rag on FaZe Connect. I am. Not the talents, not in the slightest. But I will rag on FaZe Connect as the company. They put this out as a company notice. They posted it on their official company Twitter feed. And this was made as a company post. So you're goddamn right, I'm going to rag on FaZe Connect. This represents the company, not the talents, the company behind the talents, behind the scenes. So absolutely, I am 100% ragging on FaZe Connect. They want to make an official statement like this, you're going to get an official response back. Fry the fish. Huh? Okay, maybe I'm stupid. I don't get the reference. Sorry. I don't get the reference. Fisherman? Fisherman. Okay, I did not know that. I did not know that Sakanawa is known as fisherman. Okay. Hence my confusion. I had no idea. I had no idea the CEO Sakana is called the fisherman. Okay, or the fishman. Okay, now it makes sense. Okay, Sorry. That one went way the fuck over my head. But in my fairness, it wasn't because I was stupid. It was because I was lacking information. So I have a good excuse. I have a good excuse on this one, okay? It's not just me being stupid.
Standard. That is what's going on here, okay? It seems like, based on what most people are interpreting here, they threw Jelly under the bus. Face. And also this language here about not tolerating racism, hatred, or bigotry in our communities. It's basically implying that what she did incorporates these statements right here. So they are basically agreeing with the interpretations people have of her post. Just like anything else with this cancel culture stuff, it's no longer even about what you say, like what you actually say. It's about how people perceive your statement. It's not about fairness and objectivity here.
Yeah, and like I've already seen people try to make the excuse. Well, they didn't actually single out Jelly on this. It may not have been about Jelly. If her name doesn't appear in here, so it might not actually be about them, which these people are obviously going on the assumption that everybody has been lobotomized in the last 24 hours. People know. We know. We absolutely know. And if FaZe thinks that people, some people are going to be too stupid. The troglodytes that, sit around drooling and tweet all day would probably believe that line. Anybody with a functioning brain knows they're talking about Jelly.
It's just like, oh, this person saw this post about Minecraft and not wanting politics in that game. Oh, but I take it this way, in an extreme way that is a straw man and not representative of what Jelly actually said. Yep. But that's what people are paying attention to, and that's what's getting punished. It's not the actual statement itself, and I think that's a huge mistake. And also, this sets up a standard, okay? This is now going to be a standard people are going to apply. Yes. Not only does this give a feedback loop to this outrage culture and this...
Well, this opens the doors. This 100% opens the doors that if any member of FaZe Connect says something that even tangentially they don't like, or they can twist into a way that they don't like, that they can just brigade against them, and FaZe Connect will instantaneously bow at the knee. They have literally set their talents up for failure. That's why I said they fed Jelly to the wolves. Because now, if Jelly or literally any other talent under FaZe Connect says something on social media or even on stream that people don't like or they don't want to like, because bear in mind, this is also, they don't want to like it, so they will twist it to fit their narrative and fit their agenda. And so now you have the internet, which is disgusting, that in a heartbeat, if they don't like someone, they will brigade them and twist anything that they have said and said they need to go away. You need to punish them because we don't like them because of some hallucinated slight that we have come up with. And FaZe has opened the door for going, absolutely, right away. We'll do it right now. And honestly, the second that starts happening, I could see Pippa going, deuces, I'm out. Along with the rest of the towns, who would want to work for a talent agency that will feed you to the wolves at the drop of a hat? Because they get a bunch of retards screaming on Twitter that they hallucinated an infraction and they want FaZe to deal with it. They will lose talents hand over fist, and FaZe Connect will be no more. Honestly, the very concept of a VTuber talent agency, I think, needs to go away. Yeah, I'm sure the towns don't feel safe. Jelly especially, I'm sure, does not feel safe in FaZe Connect. I would not be surprised that if Jelly leaves in short order. And Pip is going to go right along with her, I would imagine. Maybe. It's... Honestly, the very concept of VTuber talent agencies needs to go away in general. There are so few VTuber talent agencies that are even worth a damn. It's not worth it anymore. Just go indie. Just go indie. You are your own boss. You make the rules. You say what you want to say. All of you, like I imagine before too long, I would not be surprised to see all of these major these major VTuber agencies, Face Connect, Hololive, Niji Sanji. It would not surprise me to see them slowly start to fade away over the next few years. Because people are done, because the talents are done with the talent agencies fucking them over 6 ways from Sunday. It's just, it's a smarter choice to stay indie. You're your own boss. You answer to no one except yourself. The money you receive is all yours, except for maybe employees that you pay. You don't have a contract holding you back. You can do what you want, say what you want, look at what you want. And the only one you have to answer to is yourself and your actual community, not a bunch of psychopathic Twitter freaks. I think that's going to be I think that may very well be the route things may go over the next few years.
Mob that is angry. It's also going to extend to further talents. Now, I look at my situation with Advance. They came out with basically a stance on how they're going to treat their talents and possibly punish them or remove them. I don't think people at Advance really have to worry about that because, well, they got the mob got rid of the 2 people they wanted to get rid of, which was me and Straub. They don't really care about anyone else. But when it comes to FaZe, the people who are mad at Jelly...
Well, and they got rid of their 2 biggest moneymakers, too, which is the funny part. By getting rid of Rev and Straub, they got rid of basically their entire cash flow. And Advanced GG will probably be shuttering its doors within a month or 2.
They're probably mad at all the talents because FaZe is known for having edgier humor among their streamers and... You know, okay, that's fine. Nobody cares. But the people online are going to use this standard to go after further talents. It is not a good decision whatsoever. And I think, quite frankly, it's rehashed some former controversies that did not get addressed. And we'll talk about that in just a second. But
here we go.
A lot of people are celebrating this, but largely you can see the replies. I mean, just look at the number of likes on these replies and the frequency of basically critical replies. You can see this first one expressing shame in this decision. 2,800 likes. There is no understanding. You will simply start to fade. I am so deeply disappointed in FaZe Connect for this. You're walking on thin ice. You don't cave to people like this. Jerry was clear or absolutely correct in her opinion, and this starts you down a dangerous path, guys. Seriously. Not wanting political things in a game is normal. Crapping all over one of your talents for making an uncontroversial statement that a children's book block game shouldn't be political is going to bite you in the end. Bending the knee to people who don't care about you and only want to harass your talents when they haven't done anything wrong is not going to end well. Regardless, hope it was worth throwing Jelly under the bus because a minority of regardeds were crying. But why? Zero backbone, major
He's probably
L.
not going to find mine.
What's pathetic is that you throw her under the bus, but remained silent when Clara was openly celebrating the death
you guys
of
were
Charlie
talking about
Kirk
that.
and calling for more to be ended.
Now
I'm going to take a second to focus on this.
Good night,
This was a controversy back in September of last year after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, where on a personal account, the FaZe Connect member Clara made some statements on Instagram that people seem to have a big issue with, beginning with stuff like this, where you can see the headline here, where they say, I'm not going to say it, in reference to public executions, and then responding to what appears to be someone sharing their story and saying, couldn't have happened to a more deserving person, to be honest, but this level of political violence feels so dangerous. And then they caption it underneath saying, no rights were ever won without violence. The left in America needs to remember that.
My God.
The Second Amendment also applies to them for now.
But by the way, to this statement, no rights were ever won without violence. I have a question. So does that mean that that the left in America should use violence to remove people's rights? Because that's what happened during this incident. Someone forcibly removed his right of freedom of speech, the First Amendment, with execution. And she's going to say no rights were ever won without violence. Conversely, rights were always eliminated with violence. I bet she doesn't think about that part of it, huh? That the violence that you're espousing, that you want to have happen. By the way, none of her rights have been removed. She still retains all of her rights. She has lost absolutely none of her constitutional rights whatsoever. All of her constitutional rights are firmly intact. Charlie Kirk's right of freedom of speech was removed forcibly with murder. But she's not taking that into account, is she?
And it was literally created for this exact reason. So a lot of people saw this literally the day after the assassination, and they interpret this as just...
Wait, really? There's two... Is there 200? Oh, wow! Cool! Thanks for letting me know, Doodle Bob! Wow, that got two... Thanks, guys! Okay, moving on.
Justifying political violence. Now, this situation would get a lot of attention back in September, but nothing happened. There was no statement from FaZe Connects. There was no punishment. Nothing happened. They just continued on. And if that's their policy and how they want to handle something like this, okay. But now they have this new policy. They've changed things.
Yeah.
Where they're punishing one of their talents.
Now they put them on blast.
Making them delete their tweets and making public statements over someone not wanting politics in Minecraft. Yeah, so people are going to...
Wait, and people say shit like FaZe suspended Claire for saying this note. She was already on hiatus when she made the statements, and when she came back, Sonica and Pippa both donated to her streak. Yeah, so she received no punishment. She received no punishment for it. Yet, Jelly is forced to take down a tweet and is branded as a racist to the world by her own company.
Rehash the old controversy from September. I think a lot of people have largely forgotten about that or didn't even know about that in the first place, but this sort of a statement is now going to create a standard that is rehashing old controversy and will be used further against talents in the future. But let's return to...
And wait. Really? Jelly didn't take it down, the management did? Jelly was streaming when it got taken down? So they have control over her Twitter. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, I don't like that. That's another reason why I think that working for an agency, fuck no. Yet another reason why I will never be part of a VTuber agency. Not a snowball's chance now. There is no fucking shot anyone gets control over my social media, my model, my stream, nothing. I have made that promise, is that when I'm streaming, no one gets to tell me what I can or cannot. No, like, sponsor, no agency, no nothing is going to tell me what I can or cannot say on my stream, what I can or cannot say on my social media. Fuck that. Never gonna happen.
Used further against talents in the future. But let's return to some more replies here. The beginning of the end. Tagging the CEO, spineless coward, glorifying death of conservatives, okay. Wanting block game to be about block game, not okay. Jelly did nothing wrong. You are literally just making this worse.
There it is.
Congratulations, you bent the knee to the wrong crowd. They'll never let you escape now. Have fun with the new audience. Genuinely disgusted that you would throw your talent under a bus despite saying nothing wrong. Nelson Mandela literally murdered civilians, and the game said this was good trouble. That is bad. Advocating for game ending for kids is bad. Apologize to Jelly, not me.
Yep.
You have Pip on your roster. Like, what is all this? But hey, enjoy being forced to do this every second by the mob.
Wait, they tried to claim Jelly did blackface? When? When did they try to claim that Jelly did blackface? When was this? Oops. And Taz present, she was messing with her model's layers and the color was messed up. So she was screwing with her layers, messed up the color, and they tried to claim it was, of course they tried to claim it was blackface. Because of course they tried to claim blackface, because these people will hallucinate everything and to fit it inside their ideology and their agenda. I'm sorry, it's not a surprise anymore. They're retards. And the retardation is evident.
I guess. And more people pointing out stuff considered or included in Good Trouble. Don't remember you saying anything when Clara cheered for Kirk's death. L. Not only was Jelly correct, another one of your talents celebrated the...
Elysium? Sorry, the automod caught your remark, but I can see it. Why can't they be both? Why can't they be retarded, corrupt, and evil? There's plenty of room for all three in one disgusting little package, you know. Yeah.
The ending, the assassination of conservative activists, and you said nothing about that publicly. Oh, but you wouldn't police Clara cheering
the
on an
automod grabbed it
assassination.
and
F off. Good job bending the knee to people who wouldn't have watched your talents in any capacity anyway. Nothing happened to Clara for cheering on the death of Charlie, but saying politics doesn't belong in a children's game is just too far, apparently. Disappointing. Pathetic behavior on your part. She did nothing wrong. We do not tolerate racism, so why is the FaZe CEO calling Jelly a monkey? Now, I've seen this a couple times, and I think it's being overblown. I mean, she is a monkey-themed VTuber. Like, that's a part of her whole aesthetic, but people are just pointing this out because, again, it's not about what you actually say. It's about the perception. That is how this is being taken. This is how so many of these situations recently have been taken.
Oh yeah, Mystic. Yeah. Apparently one of their members, Clara, was celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk publicly, and not a thing happened.
It's not about the objective statement you're making. It's about how crazies online perceive your statement. So yeah, I think that's a fair point to raise here.
Yeah, and by the way, why didn't, when this happened, whenever this initial tweet came out, why didn't the woke hive mind suddenly leap into action and go attacking Sakana, saying, that's racist. Why are you doing a monkey emoji like this? That's racism. Because that's what they do. They see a monkey emoji and instantly think, oh, they're talking about black people and they're being racist. So why didn't they jump on Sakana way back whenever this tweet came out and blast him for racism? Why didn't they do that? Interesting.
Here. Do yourself a favor and delete this tweet. Y'all are regarded.
No. Dr. Beast, don't you know? White people are the only ones that you can be openly racist to these days. So they should have doubly jumped on for it. Even if like Asians are quote unquote considered honorary whites, the white people are the only ones that you can be openly racist to and have no issues. So why didn't they jump on him and call him a racist?
To raise here. Do yourself a favor and delete this tweet. Y'all are regarded. This whole situation could have been handled better by everyone. So I'll just say it. A talent of yours, Clara, cheered on the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I didn't see a single statement from FaZe about that. But now you throw Jelly under the bus. Shame.
Yep.
She deserves better management. Rare L. Not gonna lie. And overall, I mean, you're gonna see a lot of these sorts of statements, but
not that
FaZe
rare considering Clara.
Make a reply underneath saying this. Please do not direct any questions regarding recent events to any of our talents. Thank you for your continued support. Now, this is very fair, okay? If you literally get one thing out of this video, it's to not bother the FaZe talents about the situation.
Yes,
if you think Jelly did nothing wrong, go and support her. If you think FaZe made a bad decision here and you don't like their statement, go ahead and criticize the statement, but don't go around harassing the talents. Absolutely don't do that. And don't even bother them with questions, because it's clearly this is a management decision. You don't know where they stand, and you can't really or shouldn't pry into this because they're not going to give you an answer anyways. Like, obviously. But, of course, I think this public statement is worthy of criticism and people talking about it. And again, there's a new standard for FaZe Connects. And whether they follow through on that standard or not, is going to get a lot of backlash. I think, in the end, this statement did nothing but make the supporters angry. And it gave the side that is holding the pitchforks and are angry at Jelly and FaZe and all their talents, it gave them more ammunition. And that is not...
And again, the side that has the torches and the pitchforks and is ready to destroy anybody that they think has offered them a slight, to not go to these streams. I will repeat that. The Sands in the community supporting the talents are not the ones that were bitching and complaining. The ones that cried and screamed and claimed racism and oppression or whatever psychobabble entered into their head, they don't go to the streams. They don't, half of them probably don't even know who Jelly is. They're literally, like, I would say a strong majority of the people that were criticizing Jelly have no clue who she is, have never and will never go to any of her streams. All they did was they jumped on a bandwagon because they are all part of this same brainwashed hive mind where it's like because they are, that's how these people, that's how these groups get these people. They are a cult. They seek out and grab people of weak minds, they have limited mental strength and acuity. They cultivate them and they say, "Don't worry, we understand you. We're your friends. We'll take care of you. We'll always support you. You just have to make sure that you support us in our attacks on people online." And they go, "Okay, I have friends now because I never had friends before because I'm a loser and I have no life and I will not amount to anything. But these guys said they're my friends, so I'll do whatever they tell me to do." And so when they see their quote unquote friends dogpiling on someone because of whatever twisted, fucked up reason they came up with, they go, "Okay, I'll jump in on this too because I want to be a part of the group. I want to feel like I belong." And so they add their own voices to it, not knowing who they're attacking, not knowing why they're attacking, but simply just mindlessly attacking like a good little drone. That was probably the majority of the people that went after Jelly. Mindless drones who have no clue who she is, won't have any clue who she is afterwards, and just basically eat the slop and follow the directives of their dear leaders.
That's something that I think was a good decision. Again, I'm not ragging on them that hard. I'm ragging on the statement. I don't like it. I think it's an L. I think they bent the knee, and I don't think it's going to play out well for everyone involved. I think now there's going to be a lot more targeting of various
there will.
FaZe
There will.
Who do.
And what do you want to bet Pip is going to be the next target? Jelly was a soft target. Jelly was non-combative. She was a soft target. She was an easy target for these guys. Now that they know FaZe Connect will bend the knee at the slightest provocation, what do you want to bet they're going to set their sights on Pippa? Guaranteed. That is the next step. They will go after Pippa because they are fully expecting FaZe to bend the knee. And if FaZe bends the knee as fast as they did with Jelly, with Pippa, well, I imagine Pippa will probably be gone. If that happens.
Have edgy senses of humor. That's never, I guess, been really a problem internally. They've never had to make these public statements before, but now people are going to be demanding it. And they're going to use this situation as the example of a time where you listened. And now, if someone perceives anything they say or joke about as being racist or hatred or bigotry, well, it's going to be hard. Either you're going to have to ignore them and look like you're not following through on your own standards, or you have to follow through and continue to appease people who have no interest in your company or your talents whatsoever. I just think overall, very disappointing situation. FaZe has always had a reputation of treating their talents really well and sticking up for them. Even when that means saying nothing. When people are trying to cancel them, that does sometimes involve saying nothing. Okay, you don't always have to make like a public statement backing them up. Like they didn't have to come out and say like, Jelly, we agree with her statements and we got her back. No one's asking for that. You could just ignore it. This whole thing would have blown over in a couple days. But I guess the heat got too much and they thought this was in the best interest of the company and or the talents. But yeah, that's what happened. And if you want some more conversation about this, I was on the latest Side Scrollers podcast alongside
I saw that.
My wife, Darling Straub, and Kirsha as well. And we talked about this literally as it happened. It was literally dropped right as we were live a few hours ago. So if you want to see an extended conversation on that and hear some other perspectives, make sure to check that out. I'll put a link to it in the pinned comment as well as the description. And of course, as well, make sure to support my Patreon. We're doing a lot of stuff over there. There should be my first Patreon exclusive upload going live on there in just a day or two. So again, I'll put a link to that in the pinned comment and description as well. Thank you guys for the crazy support on all of that. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah, it's about what I expected. And it's about what I expected. They absolutely set themselves up for potential failure with this. Because they open the door and God only knows what is going to walk through in the coming months.